This is another edition of Christopher J's 101 with the good, the bad, most definitely the petty IslandGyalQ. Now, speaking of good, I want to start with this. This was obviously sometime late last year. I don't know what happened or what sparked what, but somebody in the chat, whatever stream we was on, asked me what was you and I's relationship status, and I didn't answer, obviously. I was like, don't ask me no goofy ass question, especially if I come on this platform with this big ass size 13 ring on my hand, literally. But I had to think about it. I said, hold up, we do got different statuses. We're back chasers, we're technically business partners through the back chasers, content creators, YouTube, whatever. But I do remember one conversation where I was calling people friends, brothers, that type of stuff. You were like, you're not quick to give out titles like that, especially when it comes to being friends. Where did that come from and how did that start?
I think that for me, like growing up and being in certain environments, and I'm very observant when I go out and how I am around people. And what I've seen, that has happened to me, how people backstab people very quickly and how girls turn on girls and how guys be messing with their homeboys, chicks. And I just don't think like everybody wants to call everybody their friend. Well, that's cool. They can do that, but I don't do that. I think that calling someone your friend or your family, I take very highly of that. So just because you have conversations online with somebody, okay, you want to think that's your friend, cool, right? But me, I don't treat it like that because I feel like trust has to be earned with me. So when trust is earned during a certain time period, then you might, get up to that extra level, then the extra level, then you might become a friend. So I think that trusting, and people should see that on YouTube. You see how quick people are ready to flip on somebody because they get in their feelings or they get into a disagreement. And real friends, what's a real friend wouldn't flip on you. So that's,
Is that, and we'll get into the YouTube drama, especially the one I saw today, because I have a lot to say about that. But is that why you're so big on loyalty? Because I noticed loyalty is a thing for you. It's a thing for her as well. And I'm looking like, why do you prefer loyalty to like top one? Like, why is loyalty so imperative to you?
I think that loyalty is big for me because I'm very loyal, right? So being a loyal person, and if I don't get that back, like, nah, I'm good. So I think that I'm big on loyalty because I know how I am. I'm loyal with friends. I'm loyal with family. I'm loyal in relationships. And I want that reciprocated to me. So if you're not loyal, I'm not a forgiving ass person. I know the Bible says you should forgive people. Okay, I can probably fake forgive you, but I can forget you quickly. So once a person shows you something, I tell people, and I'm always right, like with friends or even with Anton. Like once a person shows you them, like take that as them, right? Don't, when they come back months later, Anton, I was this, I'm like, okay, you might say you're sorry, but shoot, you said it in that moment. It is what it is. We don't have to be friends. You can still be associates with that person, but that's on them. I just think loyalty, it's really hard to come by nowadays, especially with a bunch of distractions and people not being able to think for themselves and people just doing stuff for clout.
And yeah, man, because I know with you, well, good. With the stuff that's going on with Anton, it seems like you chose the right team, number one. And number two, and to your point, because I always say to myself, which one is more important, respect or loyalty? Me personally, I choose respect over loyalty because I don't need no disrespectful person being loyal to me. But I guess when you see what's been going on for the past, I guess I've been on this side of YouTube less than a year. Each day I kind of see what you mean, because I seen a lot of people apologize.
Mhm.
And then again, I seen a lot of people kind of go back on the apology and do
Yep.
some wild stuff. I was like, I thought you
Flip-flopping shit.
apologized. Hmm?
Yeah. They be on some flip-flopping shit. And I don't I really like I don't play like that. Like I'm not I'm
I'm
a flip
trying to get used to it. I'm somewhat trying to get used to it, but when I see it, it's like I'm just gonna support from a distance because I don't know. I don't want to get mixed up into that type of stuff. Because if
and
I don't rock with you, I don't rock with you.
and it's like for me, I've never encountered that in my real life, right? I
I don't
didn't
either.
encounter that shit in high school. I didn't encounter that in college. And the shit that I'm seeing on YouTube, I'm like, this here is crazy
It's
because
not. It's not a Houston thing.
it's not. I think it's you know what regarding YouTube, it's the fact that YouTube gives access to people they would never get in real life. So they think they can talk any type of way. They think they can be any type of way, and in real life they would never have access to these type of people, right? Women or even men. So I think that people might sometimes act out of character or whatever. They have this. They come up with a whole scheme of stuff. So
And I
yeah,
think that's one. And I think this is one of the and why I title it good, bad, and petty. Petty is self-explanatory. So we'll get to that later
yeah,
on. But the good thing about you is definitely the loyalty, because you kind of swayed my position on this. Because I was like, nah, Q tripping. Like Q, I was like, Q, you need to
started what?
learn. Um, like I'm big on forgiveness. Like it's easy for me to forgive anybody and everybody. But and I see how you are. I was like, you is one hate. I was like, is she a hateful person? I was like, nah, she ain't hateful. She might be Island Girl evil, but she's not hateful.
Yeah, but even like I'm just very skeptical on who I have around me, right? I pride myself in energy. I'm a homebody. Like, when I get off YouTube, none of this BS carries on my real life. Like,
Right.
I have my circle very small, and I love it that way. Less drama, less BS. I don't give access to anybody that needs to be in my life, right? And if
Mm,
I'm friends with somebody like Anton and Rita, I'm looking out for their best interest because I can spot shit. And I've done it with my past friends. I'm like, oh, this girl is this way. I'm not going to convince you. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to convince you. And months later, they realize I was right. Right? Which has happened.
right.
I'll be like, oh, nah, this man, nah. He going to do this. Months later, it happens. I was right. So I'm very observant on when it comes to stuff like that because I know how I am. Like I'll peep stuff and I don't know if it's a psychology major in me and I'm noticing stuff
Oh God.
and I'm like, okay, this is how this person is. I'm cool on that.
I
Like
need to. I hope you come to Dallas. I need to introduce you to my wife, because I swear to God, you guys
my
could be
my
twins.
major is in social work and minor in psychology. So I like to read, but I could also use, which y'all have seen it, I can use people's words or manipulate them to say certain stuff or do certain stuff. And the men or women might just tell on themselves. It happens.
Oh yeah, that's why I tell people. Sometimes just ask a person a question, and they're gonna tell you
Yeah.
more. They're gonna give you more information than you bargained for. You
Yeah.
just sit back and I let people hang themselves.
Yeah,
At least that's been my philosophy.
but also I think in today's society, people should just be careful in who they surround themselves with, just in general. Family members too. You can't trust every family member, right? So same thing with friends, right? Like I think you just should just be careful. And the forgiving thing, I know I shouldn't block my exes or friends, but why? Why do they need to have access to me? It's not affecting me at all. So maybe
Right.
they can be like the forgiving aspect, but people say you don't need to block them. You need to forgive them for me. I need to forgive someone for me.
You need to forget them for you.
Yeah, I need to forgive them for me. I guess for my peace. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I don't struggle with them at all. Like once they block, they block. I don't think about it. It doesn't stress me out. So maybe that is forgiving, or yeah, I'm just cool on that.
And And this, I want to ask about you blocking exes. Do I block exes just a psychopath? I block them, but I think a long time ago you did say there was one ex that you wish you could probably get a redo regarding how you treated that person.
Oh yeah. Well, treated him. Yeah. It's because, okay, so the blocking, let's talk about the blocking. The blocking came from my college ex. So I even block exes that even I ended it because I think that what I learned from my college ex is that even though I ended it with him, he still was communicating with me and we were still communicating, and I felt like he thought we were still together. So I didn't want to lead him on or have any type of connection to him. Like, I don't want you to ask me about my family, tell me about your family. So that's where the blocking came about, right? I don't want to lead nobody on thinking we're still together or you still got hopes or you can spin the block. So that's where the blocking came out of, right? Your other question, okay, regarding an ex, right? I wish I didn't treat him like I did. It's because a year prior, I was dealing with an F-boy ex, right? And I say F-boy because that's the only F-boy I dealt with. And I thought I was healed. I thought the trauma was gone. A year later, this is why trauma can exist for like 10 years. You never know. A year later, I started talking to someone else, but I was not healed. The next guy I started talking to was him. Right. So I take a long time of period talking in between relationships. I can go 1 year, 2 year between even going on another date with a person. That's how I be like so working on myself, collecting, figuring out what I need to do to help myself or better myself in some way for the next person. But in that circumstance, that 2-year relationship messed me up so bad that I thought I was healed and I was not. I was bringing that trauma, my issues, into that good man, which kind of drained him with the stuff he was going through himself mentally with his family members. So I wish that didn't happen. I don't want to say I regret it because I feel like things happen for a reason in your life, right?
Right.
People that come into your life is either a lesson or a blessing. Okay. And he was both. He was a lesson and a blessing because I felt like he healed me. He was like, I'm usually like the therapist to the guys I've dated. So like, I'm very okay to talk to. I'm very therapeutic. I'm not judgmental. They can open up and express themselves. But to me, he was really my therapist. He healed me in so many aspects regarding my past ex. So that's why I said I don't regret that relationship. I learned so much from that relationship.
Well, that's dope. That's good to hear because I remember that kind of brings back to my exes in the past. Lord knows, I tell people they see the people girls I used to deal with versus who I'm married to right now, night and day. So I do respect and understand the fact of the boyfriend being the therapist. Is like because when women come to me, even friends, when they came to me with their problems, I sit back, I listen, and I tell them, that's an interesting way of thinking. Let me introduce you another way. And let me show you the results and why this will work. Now these people are off to better situations, better relationship, and all I can do is wish the best for them. So that I understand.